What's your biggest source of stress right now?
I guess the usual, money.
Singaporeans are consistently all striving to do better. So if you don't look successful on the outside, right, people kind of see you lower in terms of social status maybe.
Do you think money can buy happiness here in Singapore?
Hey, it's Kay from Asian Boss. Let me ask you something. Does having more money actually make you happier? Singapore is one of the richest countries in the world. But in 2025, it just got knocked out of the top spot as the happiest country in Asia, according to the World Happiness Index. So what happened? Let's hit the streets of Singapore to find out how happy are everyday Singaporeans really. Let's go.
Here's a bit of a random question. How happy would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10?
Nowadays, maybe a 5. Yeah.
Why 5? Interesting. Why do you say that?
I just feel like recently I've been really tired, like from work and I guess just life in general. I'm in my late 20s. So I just feel it's been very tiring in life. So I would just rate it a 5 right now. Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like 7 or 8, I guess. Yeah.
I think it's about 7 to 8. What's not?
And how about you? How happy would you say you are on a scale of 1 to 10?
9 out of 10.
Why do you say that you are 9 out of 10 happy?
Because school is fun and on weekends I get to do fun stuff like going to shopping malls.
I would say generally I'm around an 8, but this is not every day, okay? On average.
Interesting. Why do you say that?
I guess because I've learned to kind of see the silver linings, like appreciate the small things every day. I wouldn't say all along I'm a very happy person. Obviously, I went through like 10 years of very unhappy times. And then, I feel like now I'm able to really see the small little joys in everyday life.
Singapore just dropped from being the happiest country in Asia on the World Happiness Index. Does that surprise you?
No, actually, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah. I think because you see less and less people who are gracious nowadays. Like even on the train, when I take the train to work, you get pressured even when you sit on the priority seat without getting judged. I think that's a really bad indication that, that people are just not happy and yeah.
In fact, I'm surprised that we are one of the happiest in Asia first. But I'm surprised that, honestly, I'm surprised we are one of the happiest first. But having seen it drop, I think is in stock market, they call mean reversion, right? Yeah. So this is actually mean reversion. We are going back to where we should be.
So I don't know how that index was calculated, but I'm guessing in terms of national security and safetiness in the country, we are generally quite happy. But I feel the people around me are always tired. They're just running the rat race. So I'm not surprised we dropped, but I'm surprised we're even the top country.
I guess it could be overall the world is a lot more turbulent than it has been. With all the social unrest, the wars that have been going on, economically it's not looking too good, and things are getting more difficult in that sense. So people might be feeling that pressure. It's a bit harder to find that job. Things are getting more expensive, and so that pressure does add to that sense of dissatisfaction.
Do you think money can buy happiness here in Singapore?
I think it can buy you certain happiness, but I would say short-term happiness. For example, when you're able to afford something, I feel like you feel that short burst of happiness, but then after that it dips.
How do you think helping others this way contributes to your own happiness?
Yes, I think one thing that's very not talked enough about is the fact that helping someone else does increase your happiness, right? Because you you just feel more valuable to another individual.
Speaking of helping others, here at Asian Boss, we've been raising money for various causes, including supporting the elderly and single dads in Korea, providing milk for children in Malaysia, and giving meals to seniors in need in Singapore. To make that possible, we've been partnering with one of the largest kindness platforms, Give Asia, for over 6 years. They've raised over $100 million from more than 2 million donors. Unlike most platforms, 100% of your donation can go directly to the cause. They're constantly making the platform easy to use, more secure, and improving marketing tools so anyone can raise funds quickly. But building and improving these tools takes resources, and that's where you come in. By becoming an impact partner, you're helping build tools that let thousands reach their fundraising goals faster. Click the link in the description to help create meaningful change, and maybe you find a little more happiness along the way. Now back to the interview.
When you're helping others, like, you also tend to feel more grateful about your own situation. Like, you see how like other people are, and then you feel blessed yourself. And I think that contributes to your own happiness, because seeing other people's situations, right, and if they're somehow not as privileged as you, it just gives you a different perspective. Yeah, makes you feel more blessed yourself, and I think that contributes to happiness.
Do you ever do something for others, whether it be helping the local community or those in need?
I helped the grandma this morning. I helped her grab her grocery bag to the bus stop, and then sent her off to her stop. I think whenever I can, I do. But it's also mostly because I receive that a lot from strangers too. Like, people tend to help me just to stop a bus or like stop an elevator. Kindness is everywhere, actually, when you look at it. So when you receive it, you should give it.
And what's your biggest source of stress right now?
I guess the usual, money. I mean, usually I'm worrying about, how am I going to pay the bills, cover the bills, how am I able to retire properly next time, and how am I going to support my daughter? Like, am I being a good parent? Like, that's the usual source of stress.
How stressful is your life on a daily basis?
I think it's quite stressful. But to be honest, like, at this point, I just suck it up and do it, and I find ways to relax. I don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
I think, just to chill out and find pockets of time to just space out, I think, makes it okay. Yeah, but it's stressful, yeah.
Okay, then what is the biggest source of stress that you face right now in your life?
It's probably like a longer term thing. It's not really currently about like the current this year or the next 5 years. It's probably what would I get, or how would I feel when I get a bit older? What's there for me and what's there for everyone who are around our age? Because probably our generation is going to face a lot of different issues versus our parents' generation. So that's the long-term uncertainty that probably may stress me a little bit, but I think it's too far away for me to actually worry about it, yeah.
Uncertainty, yep. Maybe sometimes when you are trying your best, there are things that are within your control, right? But then there are also things that are not within your control. So then you overthink it, like, how things are going to pan out, and hopefully, things that are uncontrollable can actually, pan out the way you wish that it can. So, the uncertainty and the fear of not getting what you want causes that stress, yes.
I think the biggest source for me right now is just like getting a house and wondering if the current job that I have right now, the current pay grade that I have right now, how long can I sustain on that, and managing my expectations. If I want to live a better standard of life, I probably need to hit a certain standard of pay grade in order to support myself. And it's not just supporting myself, supporting my family as well, my loved ones. So I think like money is the biggest stress for me. Not exactly the job, but like, trying to manage the money right now. Yeah.
Do you ever feel like you're stuck in the rat race?
Yes, definitely. Although I'm not doing the usual rat race because I'm actually a freelancer myself. But yes, I feel the constant pressure to do very well. I'm actually in the content creation industry, and I feel that all the more my life is out there in the open, like how well I'm doing. Like it's out there for everyone to see and judge. So yes, definitely.
Currently, I'm in university. I'm a year one student.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say I'm in a rat race yet. I'm not in the working world.
Yeah.
So I can still enjoy some downtime and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I feel that it's constantly like a struggle to just keep on improving myself, keep on attaining that higher grade.
Yeah.
Although I'm not a great student, I think I'm average. But there's always like the pressure from like my peers or even my parents to try and get better grades. So I try and get more internships or even get more experience.
I think money can only satisfy you to like a certain extent, right? But to me, it's more of, am I earning enough to be able to have meals with my friends, to buy things for my family? Do I have time to do things that I like say my hobby, like tennis or something? So I think I flipped my view of being more conscious that I'm not just focused on money, but also seeing like what a job can present me, right? Is it giving me enough time? Like, because if you have all the money in the world, but you don't have time, let's say you're being paid really high, but you don't have time to do anything, then like, is it really worth it? Like, you can't spend time with your loved ones, you can't even meet your friends, so.
I know a lot of people around me or like people my age, I feel like, they're always chasing like the next promotion. They have like a lot of goals they want to achieve, but in the process of chasing those goals, they're very tired. I don't think they have time for themselves or time for people around them. So, yeah.
Honestly, I kind of decided to take myself out of the rat race. Because my current job at the moment is as uncorporate as you can get. And having worked in that kind of industry for a while, I'm in the events industry. So we mainly do events for games and esports. There was one time in corporate job, it got so bad that I got diagnosed with general anxiety. So I was going to my doctor like crying.
Yeah.
So it was pretty bad. And that's when I slowly took a step back and asked myself like, what do I really want out of this life? You only got one life, so yeah.
Does that mean there's this pressure in Singapore to look successful as well?
Oh, I think it's really evident that it's everywhere. Like the car that we drive, the house that we have, and your clothes, your makeup, like it just stroll around Orchard Road or any MRT station with advertisement everywhere. So, I say for sure.
Yeah, I would think so. I think because Singaporeans, it's just the mentality. Yeah. Like, Singaporeans are consistently all striving to do better. So if you don't look successful on the outside, right, people kind of see you lower in terms of social status maybe. So yeah, I think looking successful might be more important in Singapore than in most countries.
I always tell myself that although there is this constant struggle to appear a certain way online, I must never forget who I am and also never forget to take care of myself and to slow down in the process of this race. At the end of the day, I think it's not the destination, it's more about the journey. So yeah, I have learned to really slow things down, be really gentle with myself and just enjoy the journey whenever I can.
Do you think that's also part of the reason why you think that you're happier now versus you mentioned 10 years ago?
Yes, definitely. I think like in my 20s, I was a little bit more clueless about this kind of things. Just really focus a lot of external validation. And I did not really have like a actual relationship with myself. I think now I have a really positive relationship with myself and I enjoy my company every day and I just like how I encourage myself during hard times. So yeah, definitely that is why I'm an 8, I guess.
What's something you wish was more affordable in Singapore?
Ooh, housing, cars.
Definitely housing. So I'm 35 this year and I'm gonna get housing alone. And just looking at the market out there, it's insane. I do not know how many singles would be able to afford housing, especially like if they want to get 4 room and above, or even a 3 room. I think like depending on the location and whatnot, it could be really expensive. So yeah, housing is one thing that I wish was more affordable, really.
I spend all my money on groceries.
What kind of groceries do you buy?
I mean, especially if you're looking for like healthy stuff, you know, like if you're trying to get like lean beef, if you're trying to eat good stuff and healthy stuff at the same time, that's where it gets really expensive in Singapore.
Pets. Pets and pet supplies.
Yeah.
I feel like having an animal companion actually boosts your happiness, but it's such a luxury to have in Singapore. It's also really regulated.
If you could change one thing about Singapore to make people happier, what would it be?
I really hope people talk to each other more. Like, you know, sometimes when you approach people on the street, they're like, oh, why are you talking to me? Like, I understand, but I do hope people like smile to each other more, like talk to each other more. Just small talks actually, it doesn't take that much to make people happy.
Maybe it's education. It doesn't impact me, but probably the younger generations to come, and probably parents who are around our age who have kids. So I wish we can be a little bit less competitive and a little bit more creative in terms of how we bring up the next generation. Because, I mean, we didn't like end up going to tuition classes all the time, but we still turn out to be fine. So I guess the next generation could enjoy a little bit of their childhood, and they can grow up to be happier adults. I think for the younger generation.
I think we should encourage more empathetic communication in our culture as a society. I think a lot of times people here can be a bit too rationally wired. I mean, I have thoughts about this, right, as to why we are like this, you know. It's the system, you know, in terms of like how we have been developed to, in terms of what are the priorities of development for us, you know, growing up. So how we think, what we think is important, I think is shaped in that way. So I think I would like to change that. It does go back to this entire conversation on rethinking what education and a child's development means.
Maybe a 4-day work week. I don't know how it would work for like everyone, but I'm guessing having more time to rest and to like focus on themselves would be great. But I hope that can happen soon, sometime soon. Yeah, maybe a 4-day work week.
What's your definition of happiness?
I think happiness is being able to afford what you want, being able to be surrounded by people that love you and you love, you know. Just not dreading waking up and like liking life. Yeah.
I think my definition of happiness is constantly just trying to better yourself, like making yourself a better person. And while doing it, having friends that are going the same journey as you, I think that is one of the most meaningful things life can offer. Striving, even though you might not ever achieve it, just striving to be the best you can be.
What's your definition of happiness?
A nice family that loves you and a lot of friends to play with. And then maybe some money so you can go somewhere fun with your friends and your family.
I guess for me, it's more on to have that sense of empathy and understanding. To understand that happiness, it's up to you. A lot of the times, yes, you cannot control what happens, but you can control how you react to it. So, I mean, that was a state of mind I found myself when I was younger as well. Nobody really taught me that. So every time something bad happens, you know, I go into this spiral. Why is this happening to me? Oh my God, my life sucks, and then it's so horrible. But one day, someone actually taught me a very important lesson that I took to heart. She told me, all these things are happen, but Christine, you can either be a victim or you can put your mind to it and ask yourself, what can I do to change this or to make this situation a little bit more bearable, a little bit better? So that's a lesson that I hope to teach my daughter as well.
I agree on the empathy thing.
What about it do you agree?
That people need to understand me more.
Do you think Mummy is doing a good job? Shall we give her some encouragement?
She's doing a very, 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 very good job.